Is called a king prawn cream sauce. That's what it is called. And I'm doing some vegetables with it as well. When I finish, I will send you another video and you can see how it looks, but it's really nice.
Welcome back, guys. I trust you've been staying safe. Now, Amechi Ochekwo has been trending since May 2024 as the main suspect in the missing case of Abigail Afiba-Tandor and Celine Indudem. As it stands now, Amechi is deceased at the hands, allegedly, of the Nigerian police, who are also saying a different story, of course. And I'm coming out with a video or a series of videos on the suspected corruption by the Nigerian police with regards to this case, and even allegedly with the extent of what happened leading to the days up to the deceased of Amechi. So that is also something that is cooking. But as it stands now, Amechi is not alive to speak for himself, and there are so many things being said about him. It's difficult to ascertain what is true and what is not true. And there's a saying that dead men tell no tales. He didn't talk when he was picked up, and he is not alive to talk now on his own behalf as to whether what is being said about him is true or not. So I did some digging on him because, like I always say, in order to understand the person, it's best to go to his foundation so that you understand the genesis of what led the person to become what he or she has become, as per the true crime story I'm sharing with you. So this video is basically to give you, as close to as possible, an autobiography or a biography of what makes up the man Amechi, as far as I could gather. Now, Amechi Ochekwo was born on the 3rd of May 1971. So by virtue of this, it means that he is Taurus. For those of you who are into this type of things, he's a Taurus. Now, he had no beard, per how he groomed himself. He kept no beard, so he seemed to be younger than he actually was, but he was not a young man. He was born in the 70s. So by virtue of that, he was actually in his 50s. And that means that this guy has really lived life for some time. But if you look at him, you might mistake him for a young man. He is not that young. He's actually in his 50s, just about a decade from retirement if he was in Ghana. Now, he was from Item Bende in Abia State in Nigeria, West Africa. He was British, but then he had a case in the United Kingdom, and as such he ran back to Nigeria after he had committed these crimes and had been jailed twice. And as such, he was struggling to function properly after he was released from prison because of his criminal records. But then, before his crimes in the UK, Amechi was said to have had a very, very great career as a gas engineer and managed a lot of council properties as well. So you see, I've always maintained that you will not see the psychopath straight out of the gate, especially in these times. Most of them have blended in, built an honorable brand for themselves. They could be the best friend you have. They could be your neighbor. So now more than ever, it's evident for you to appreciate the saying that all that glitters is not gold. It is about time we look beyond the surface of things and assess the substance of that thing. Because if you look at just the surface, you would mistake crazy people, deadly people, for nice people, because everybody seems nice until they show their true colors. And by virtue of this, it extends to Andrew if he is guilty of what he did. or if he's guilty of what he's been accused of doing. Now, he was doing really great in this career of his. But then, like I said earlier, after he was released from jail, things went downward for him. It seemed as though he developed a serious form of depression and he never escaped from it. Now, as a result of this, he couldn't go to any developed country, especially in Europe, because he had a criminal record and his career had also plummeted, and as such, he had his life torn away from him when he came out of prison, and his profile had also been flagged. So it's like everything this guy had built for himself, straight up to the age of over 50 years, had just been lost, just like that. Now, to escape from this and give himself a chance at building a new life for himself, Ochekwo Amechi ran from the UK down to Nigeria, where he now put on the persona of the supposed big boy and allegedly even got a license from one of the big guys in Nigeria within the security authorities in Rivers State. Now, it was also alleged that within his first 3 months in Nigeria, Andrew would throw a woman from an upstairs balcony and she sustained a spinal cord injury. He would be arrested and detained, but released after he paid some money to get himself free. And this is one of the things that is shameful in some countries in Africa with regards to some of the security agencies, where you'd realize that the rich seem to be getting away with crimes just because they can pay off some police officers. So this environment seemed to thrive for Andrew, because in the UK, you can't get away with things like this. He had actually been to prison or jail for similar offenses or lesser offenses. And here he is now in Nigeria, where he can commit such a serious offense and get away with it by just having to pay some money. So he settled in comfortably. He settled in so comfortably. Now, in Britain or the UK, he owned a company called Gas Team. This is a guy who had employees and was managing government property. Some of his employees were even white. This goes to show the level of confidence that they had in this guy's brand and the company that he was running. And it's even documented that his company won several awards for the excellent work that it was doing. For example, in 2017, his company by name Gas Team started offering work placement and offering mentorship to secondary schools in Milton Keynes. So Ochekwo Amechi is not your regular guy who probably is just resorting to crime because he's just a criminal. This guy rose to the cream of the top, and then his life just fell apart. In 2018, for example, again, he registered Black Sheep Plumbing in the UK. But then, like I said, when he came from prison, he just lost his focus. And it seemed that this had started before his life in prison, after he got wealth. When he tasted wealth and luxury, it seemed to have gotten into his head and he started engaging in certain vices. And before leaving the UK and running to Nigeria, Ochekwo Amechi was actually declared wanted by the Thames Valley Police in Milton Keynes for sexual assault. This was as far back as in June 2019. So, by virtue of this, they declared him wanted in March 2023, and it was also declared that he was living in the UK under 3 different names: Andrew Ochekwo, Andrew Ashley Ochekwo, and Uche Okorocha. Now, there's a possibility that this could mean that he was involved in more crimes, and as such, living with these 3 identities. Now, the public in the UK at this point were even advised not to approach him, but to alert the police, as he was actually classified as dangerous. So, this is just a bit about Andrew Amechi. I'm going to put out another video where I'll go deeper into the analysis of what transpired between Andrew Amechi and the police leading up to his passing, because the stories are not adding up. The stories are not adding up at all. And since dead men tell no tales and Andrew is not here to speak for himself, it seems the narrative is being run by people like the police, Harrison, and Andrew's friend, Mr. Ben Samuel. But why is it that all these things are not consistent with what the police themselves had said earlier? From a vigilante being responsible through to another version of the story where Andrew was unalived by the police, there is so much confusion about what is a fact and what is a fiction and a lie on this issue, as far as what transpired between Andrew Ochekwo and the Nigerian police, which led up to his demise. But in case you are wondering who Andrew Amechi Ochekwo was, at least now you've gotten to know a little bit about him. He was a successful businessman. He was running a full-scale company, winning awards in the UK, living top of the line, giving top shelf service, employing people, influencing the society positively, until his crimes caught up with him. That is an unfortunate end to a promising man who many have now tagged as a psychopath. But like I said, in the eyes of the law, he is actually innocent until proven guilty. In this case of Afiba versus Selin, or Afiba and Selin being missing, we have still not found them. And it's possible that Andrew Amechi might not even be the main person behind they being missing, although there is possibility that he is. But since he is not alive, we don't even know what else or who else may be involved. What do you think about all this? But in all this also, bear in mind, still these two missing girls, Afiba and Selin, have not been found. Just support the search for them by going to the comment section and just type in Afiba and Selin and add in any other thing you want to add. Subscribe if you are yet to do so, like the video, and I'll catch you on the next one.